In this video today, I'm just going to talk about a question that I asked last week. That question was, what do you think is the most difficult thing about learning English? And a lot of the responses that I got were phrasal verbs are the most difficult, grammar is the most difficult. But what surprised me was how many people said that listening is the most difficult thing about learning English. It's just really interesting because I know that listening is difficult for many people, but I didn't realize how many people feel that listening is the number one most difficult thing. Because it's definitely not the most difficult thing to learn and to improve. It might feel difficult and it might feel uncomfortable at first, but the way to improve it is just really simple. The only thing that you need is your ears. You don't need to do any special activities. You don't need a special teacher. You don't need a workbook. You don't need a partner. You just need to use your ears, and you probably want to have the internet. But if you're watching this video, you have the internet. So what should you do? You should listen to English for 10 minutes to 3 hours every single day. Oh, 3 hours, that's a long time. 10 minutes. Do 10 minutes if you think that 3 hours is a long time. I'm not recommending 3 hours, but doing it for 3 hours is not going to kill you. You could listen to English the entire day, and that would benefit you the most. But you only need to do 10 minutes if you don't feel like doing it all day. And what's cool about listening is that you can do it all day. Maybe not all day, but for big parts of the day, you can just listen to English. While you're taking a shower, listen to something on YouTube. While you're eating breakfast, listen to something on YouTube. While you're cooking dinner, listen to something on YouTube. While you're driving to work, listen to something on YouTube. And maybe it's not YouTube, that's just an example. But the point is that you want to put English speaking into your ears as much as possible. And it shouldn't all be me speaking, because I'm a teacher and I speak extra clearly because I've trained myself to do that after maybe 8 years of speaking to people who are at a very low level. I need to make sure that they understand me all the time. So I've become used to speaking very clearly. But native speakers do not speak as clearly as I do all the time. So listening to me is not going to give you the growth. It's not going to give you the challenge that you need. So what you need to do is you need to be watching content or listening to content that was created for native English speakers. Listen to podcasts that are for native English speakers. Watch YouTube videos that are for native English speakers, because you need to be listening to the way that people actually speak. And you know what? I do speak the way that native English speakers actually speak. I just pronounce a lot of the individual sounds much more clearly than they do. But I don't say anything in an unnatural way. When people say things like I sound like a robot, I do not sound like a robot, because a robot speaks. I don't speak like that. I speak a little bit more slowly, and I pronounce the sounds more clearly, so that if you are at a lower level, I can make it easier for you to understand me. So if you're at a low level, you could listen to me all day, and that will help you. But if you're at a more advanced level, you need to be listening to native speakers who are speaking to other native speakers. Because if the only things that you have ever listened to are your teachers who taught you in school, and maybe they were not even native English speakers, maybe their pronunciation was not always 100% correct, and maybe you listen to them and then you listen to me, you're never hearing anybody actually speaking the way that they really speak in a real conversation, and that's probably why listening is difficult for you. So what you need to do is you need to listen to podcasts, YouTube channels, TV shows that are created for native speakers. and they might be really difficult sometimes. That's okay. The point is not to understand everything. The point is to be hearing the sounds, hearing the whole sentences, hearing how we produce the speech, hearing what words actually sound like. Because if you see a word on paper, but you've never heard a native speaker say it, you're not going to know exactly how it sounds. And often, the way that the word sounds is a lot different from the way that the word looks. So, you need to be listening to native speakers speaking English to make sure that you're learning how these words and sentences actually sound when they are spoken, not just when they are pronounced clearly for you as a learner. You need to hear how native speakers speak to each other. It's not difficult. Just listen to something, anything that you want, for 10 minutes a day.